guys understand what leadership is all about. And if you have that amongst your team, that culture will be created a heck of a lot quicker than what you think. Because that's the thing that, that I've always said, and a lot of you guys have heard me say it. It's my program, but it's their team. And that told me something about what we have started with that leadership group. And that, to me, will continue, because what they've done, they've sent the message to whoever else is going to end up being on that leadership committee in the years to come. That these are the things that you have to do to make sure that you're doing the things to help the team win and to make sure that they're doing it. Because, those guys individually, those guys were embarrassed. Our program was embarrassed. This university was embarrassed through that act. And that's something that you can't have if you're going to be successful.
You probably had a season high in broken tackles and in drop passes. Are those things you can coach? I mean, why did it happen, and how do you make it go away?
That's a good question to ask the players. Ask them why they dropped it. I didn't drop it. You work on it. I got guys sitting out here catching tennis balls after practice. So at least that tells me that they care. All right? But sometimes, Wayne, guys get nervous out there. It happens. It happens. I don't want to say what happened, because, that's not good to say in the media, and then you guys print it, and then I get in trouble. But, sometimes guys lose their focus and concentration. And sometimes, they might get a little tight, because of the situation. There's all kinds of, issues that could happen that causes that. A lot of times with, and again, if you're playing against a great back or, somebody that's really shifty, you're going to have missed tackles. You're going to have missed tackles in the game. But the thing is, if you got guys flying to the ball, a lot of times those missed tackles don't show up. But when you're one-on-one out there and you don't just go and attack it, because my whole philosophy is this, and we tell them, when you go to make the play, go and plant and understand the concept of the defense, put the ball in the proper pad, and go take your shot. Go take your shot. If you put it on the proper pad and you're aggressive, I'm not going to get mad at it because they're doing it, because I'm expecting their teammate to be coming inside out or outside in, depending on the angles to the ball. So at least if that guy takes a shot and he misses, that guy should have to redirect, do something, slow down, so the next guy in can make that. And I thought, a couple of the guys were a little bit hesitant. They didn't do that. They went and they broke and they kind of waited, and then they went, and that created too much separation. And then it was a better athlete making a play on somebody. Probably is the best I can say it in the simplest terms. And how do you work on it? You just go and practice. We work on tackling drills, every day. We throw and catch every day. Then what happens is, you got to find those guys. There are some guys that are great practice players. Great practice players. Put them in the game, not so good. Because sometimes for guys, they have this mental block. And sometimes maybe the game is a little bit too big for them, or a little bit too fast. And until that slows down, or until they get comfortable, sometimes you have some of those mistakes that happen. But as long as you're going full speed and you're being aggressive, I'll live with it. The ones that I can't live with is when you're not going full speed and you're not being aggressive. Okay, those are the ones when you're playing tentative or you're back on your heels. Those are the ones it's hard to live with.
Randy, because of the way the schedule falls, this is awful early for a final home game for the seniors. Have you seen a difference in the sense of urgency or the emotions as pertains to being a senior day, as a usual senior day, or just because they have so many more games to play, and how is that going to impact what happens on Sunday?
Not really. I told him today. I told the guys today in our team meeting. I said, "You got everything in front of you. Goals that you want to accomplish, they're still there for you. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And hopefully, they'll respond and they'll want to do everything they can. I mean, today we practiced. I saw good effort and good enthusiasm and good energy out there. Okay? Now we got to keep doing it during the week, and then we got to carry it over, and again, the other thing is, too, there's going to be another team coming in here to play that has some really, really good players. And we're going to have to elevate our game to give ourselves an opportunity to win. And that's the challenge of sport. That's the challenge of sport. And that's where, it's right in here. It's in here, and it's between here.
Randy, you talked about how important the leadership council is. What if on one of these Sunday meetings they said, Coach, we don't like our offense, or Coach, we don't like our defense? How would that be received?
Well, I always, and they'll tell you, Tommy will tell you, and Jason, they're here, they'll be frank with you. I asked them, I said, you guys got any issues? Because it's a two-way street. It's not me going in there and saying, hey, this. I just said, here's things that I try to help them with what leadership is about, and try to tell them, here's some issues that could come up that you guys got to be aware of in and around the locker room and all those sort of things. And I tell them, do you guys have anything? And they'll tell you. We had one of the meetings earlier this year where Junior Joseph, am I right, talked about doing a more of a walkthrough at times during the practice, because he felt that would help him and the defense especially. So what I did is I incorporated our practices to where, we might go 2 periods, and then we have what we call an adjustment period. So we can walk through. And then we go 2 more periods, 2 more 10-minute periods, and have an adjustment period. So they come in, if there's things there that I think can help us, and I know that there's a courage with that conviction that they have, then I'm going to listen. But if it's this, boom, throw up on the wall and see if it sticks, you ain't going to do that. I'm not going to listen to that. But these guys they've been good. They've been good, with those things. Now, I'm going to decide on what I think our schemes are best offensively and defensively. Because if they're that good, then they could just come right up here and take over for me. So why don't I let them just come on up here and take over? Have a good one. They're waiting. They got to go to class.